Curriculum. It is the processes and products of planning, teaching, and evaluating a course of study or related courses. It involves planning what is to be taught or learned, implementing it, and evaluating it. Now let's take a look at different curriculum approaches. The first one is the specialist approach. It encompasses 4 domains: curriculum planning, specifications of ends and means, program implementation, and classroom implementation. Specialists are in charge of the first 3 domains, while teachers are responsible for the last domain. Problems with the specialist approach. The potential for mismatch is great because each different group of people performs different curricular functions, uses different discourses, and produces different curricular products. They operate from different beliefs and assumptions. Teachers are recipients and implementers rather than decision makers, and there is usually no room for evaluation of the curriculum once it is implemented. It is because of the amount of time specialists spend in the curriculum development that is not usual to evaluate the programs once they were implemented. Enacting. GRAPES proposes a different type of curriculum. It includes planning, implementing, and evaluating, but renames the middle one, enacting, to reflect the agency of teachers and learners in the classroom. Enactment of a language curriculum is unique and differs from other subjects' curriculums because of the relationship between classroom content and the surrounding educational context. GRAPES remarks some characteristics of the curriculum enactment approach, like the fact that each stage influences the other. For instance, classroom enactment shapes planning and vice versa. Planning shapes evaluation and vice versa. In the case of evaluation, the goal is not just measure but improve. Planning, enacting, and evaluating are also inserted in social contexts, and teachers have a central role in the success of the implementation. Curriculum enactment, it is concerned with classroom experiences and how the participants create them. What happens in the classroom is the core of curriculum. The classroom where curriculum is enacted, it is itself a sociocultural context with its own systems, norms, and values. Context. The context in which this approach might occur are 2, the target language removed context. These are contexts in which a language is learned in classroom, separate from the context in which the target language is used, and target language embedded context. These are contexts in which a language is learned either within or closely connected with a context of use. Planning a curriculum, needs analysis. An important part of planning a curriculum is the needs analysis. Long explains that the needs analysis goes hand in hand with curriculum planning due to the fact that the collected results from the needs analysis are part of the input for the syllabus. To GRAPES, needs analysis in a narrow sense is analysis of information about what the learners already know and know how to do, and what they need to know and know how to do, so that the curriculum can bridge the gap. Additionally, Richards refers to the purpose of a needs analysis. Its purpose is to collect information to develop a profile of the language needs of a group of learners in order to make decisions about the goals and content of the course or curriculum. GRAPES points out different reasons why a needs analysis is an imperfect process. For instance, the determination of which are the students' needs fall on different people like teachers, parents, principals, and they may not have the same views. The needs will depend on the type of context the students are in. GRAPES affirms learners in TL embedded context have target needs, while those in TL removed contexts do not, unless a context of use is created or imagined. Widowson, 2004, points out the mismatch between the diverse approaches in the ELT field and what really happens in a classroom. BRIN goes further and proposes a new syllabus called the process syllabus. This type of syllabus is not the traditional one. Instead, it is based on negotiation. BRIN and Littlejohn affirm it is a stance toward teaching and learning in which the teacher invites learners to negotiate all or a range of aspects of their learning, from choice of topics and tasks to how they will be assessed. It is vital to understand how a classroom works if this is the central part of the enactment approach. Graves states, the classroom itself is a unique social environment with its own human activities and its own conventions governing these activities. Van Leer explains that the social context in a classroom is controlled by the teachers and students' agency. Even the language spoken in a classroom differs from the language used outside the classroom. Normally, students do not have the opportunities to use the target language. Because of the characteristics in a traditional classroom previously mentioned, Wenger proposes the term communities of practice, where knowledge and expertise are distributed among participants, so that each participant has something to contribute and something to learn. A community of practice could work outside the classroom. For instance, it is much easier for TL embedded context to provide students with the opportunities to develop their communicative competence. Magnan questions the situation in the TL removed context because of the lack of link with the target community. To try to solve the issue, 3 types of contexts are suggested: real, virtual, and imagined. In the case of real context, an interview to foreigners in an airport could be an example. Virtual, the use of blogs or videos involving people from other countries, and imagined, taking a model, for example, the United Nations model. Graves affirms, what is striking about these communities in the classroom, real, virtual, and imagined, is the opportunities they provide for learners to set goals, take on multiple roles, collaborate, and undertake cognitively challenging work. Finally, the evaluation. Reed, Dickens, and Germain provides a definition of evaluation from a positivistic approach. For them, evaluation measures outcomes in relation to preordained objectives. Stenhouse points out that curriculum improvement is the purpose of evaluation and it should be integrated. The author also affirms that integration results in shared understandings among stakeholders about how to evaluate a curriculum and about the processes of teaching and learning themselves. Conclusions and implications. Teacher involvement at each stage is critical to success of a curriculum. Needs analysis has to be closely related to the curriculum planning. Bottom-up participation in the change process of all stakeholders, especially faculty and students, is of vital importance. Developing a shared discourse among decision makers and stakeholders is also critical for a coherent curriculum. Implementation has to be present in each part of the process of curriculum planning, and the purpose of evaluation is to improve the curriculum as well as the teaching effectiveness.